Is it possible to pick and choose between different madhabs and take interpretations that we most agree with more, for example? Again, this issue as well, as I said, it's not a good idea to pick and choose. Because what happens is that we start following our desires. And we say, okay, slowly we'll become really relaxed and lax about the whole situation. But as I said, if there are genuine situations of need and necessity, then maybe, maybe consult a scholar and then take it from there. But just generally picking and choosing is not. It's not a good idea. And some of the Imams earlier on, the Salaf, they said that if somebody was to pick and choose, من أخذ بنوادر العلماء فقد خرج عن الإسلام. Sometimes you can pick and choose. All the Imams, besides the fourth school, even the other Imams, they all have isolated opinions. If somebody was to go and pick, choose all the isolated, easy opinions, you could make a religion that is made by shaitan and nobody else. Really. You can find something by Imam al-Awza'i, wherein he goes against the whole ummah. You take that easy ruling. You go to Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, take that easy ruling which is against the whole ummah. Put that in your book. Take something from the Shafi'i, the Hanafi, the Maliki. You can just make a book of rukhsas, book of concessions. There's no Islam, you don't have to do anything then. So, be very careful. Is it permissible to get your qurban? Again, this is not related to the topic. This person can ask me directly, inshallah. There's a name of charity. I don't like to name names. How do you know if your qurbani, which is udhiyah, accepted or not? Is this, okay, you can just speak to me about this, inshallah. Unfortunately, I missed the first part of the talk. My talk, I guess. Are you talking about my talk, yeah? I have the first talk. I have no knowledge of madhabs. Where is the best starting point you would recommend me? It depends. I think it depends. If you want to learn about madhabs, or do you want to learn how to pray, etc., first from a madhab. Sometimes it's better to learn how to pray and things like that according to a particular school, and then go into the madhabs. But if you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel confident to learn a particular madhab, but you want to know about the madhabs before you actually learn, then fine, there are a lot of books. There's a book in English written by one of my teachers, Sheikh Taqi al-Uthmani, Legal Status of Following a Madhab. You can read that book. There are a lot of books on the topic. Sheikh Abdul Rahman Ibn Yusuf, who just spoke before me, his brilliant book, Fiqh al-Imam, a great book, where he talks about the many evidences and about these different issues. But that's again going to specific topics. The issue of following a madhab itself, the legal status of following a madhab is a good book that you can read in English. Maybe start off with that, and then inshallah, you can ask me some other time. We could look at some more books. There's quite a few things on the internet, maybe some talks, some lectures here and there, I don't know, but make sure you listen to reliable people. What are the prerequisites of a mujtahid? I think the first speaker, did Sheikh Abdul Rahman talk about this? He didn't talk about this? Because he was supposed to talk about this. I spoke to him last night and he said he was going to talk about this. Are there ijtihad on qat'i issues? Interest? No. Okay. This is a good topic. Sorry, good question. There's two parts of this question. Prerequisites of a mujtahid, that's a topic on its own. You need a 2-hour lecture on that. Prerequisites of ijtihad. Who is a mujtahid? There's so many different areas you need to be an expert in before you can even think that you're a mujtahid. The problem today is that we are deluded. We are deluded into thinking. Every person learns, as I said, a few words of Arabic. I'm a mujtahid. You do a weekend course, a course like this, you're a mufti or you're a qadi. We are all students. Even my title people use, I don't like the title. Mufti is a big title. In the earlier times, that used to be a title that used to be only given to major people who would be really deep in the understanding of. But nowadays we use it. Okay, fine. It's what we call urfan. It's just a customary usage. It's not the real usage of the term. The classical usage. It was a very, very deep meaning that was attached to this particular title. But that's what happens nowadays. People just attend a course here and there, go to some country, Syria, here and there, and a few words of Arabic, and that's it. Sheikh, come. I'm finishing, just 2 minutes. So that's a topic on its own. But this second question, is there ijtihad on qat'i issues? No. Look, I'll just end with this. You know, in the Quran and Sunnah, there are clear things that require no taqleed and no ijtihad. You don't have to, we don't have to follow a madhab to know zina is haram. If someone says, zina, haram, why? Oh, Imam Shafi'i says. Oh, it's in the book. Do you have to look for references in the Shafi'i madhab to know backbiting is haram? Of course not. Majority of the rules of Islam are qat'i, absolute, clear cut. There is no ijtihad, there is no taqleed. There's no following of anyone. It's clear. Backbiting, jealousy, hatred, enmity in the heart, the prohibition of pride and arrogance, all these issues. Yes, there are certain verses of the Quran and certain hadith that deal with ahkam, as I said. When we find, for example, contradiction. There's a hadith of the Messenger ﷺ says that la salat illa bi fatihatil kitab. There is no salah if you don't read Fatiha. There's another hadith where he says that man kana lahu imamun fa qira'atul imami qira'atul lahu. Whoever has an imam's recitation is sufficient for him. You don't have to read behind the imam. Now these are two apparently contradicting. What do? Do you just use your own intellect and try to see which one you want to act upon? Or you leave it to the research done by thousands of scholars over thousands of years, as I explained, and follow what they said. So ijtihad and taqleed is only regarding those issues in which there is ambiguity, there is no clarification, or there's contradiction. You might find two hadiths contradictory. What do? Okay? So it's only about those issues. The clear-cut, qat'i issues, there is no ijtihad, there is no following of a school, and there is no taqleed, inshallah. Jazakallah.